Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Greenwich High School, our Performing Arts Center, and one of our first night meetings of the school year. Tonight, you can see our topic up here on the screen here, the nuts and bolts of the college application process. And I'll come back later and talk to you about how we open and everything like that, but we want to get to this topic first because this is the one you came for, probably, not to listen to me, not to listen to the two SROs, the Dean of Student Life necessarily, but to Michelle Agnello, our program coordinator for school counseling in the Greenwich Public Schools. Michelle.
Good evening, thank you, Mr. Miller. So we're super excited to have you this evening. There are several people that want to share information with you. We are sharing, like Mr. Mayo said, just some information about our application process. We also have our Dean of Students, we have our two SROs, and the PTA will be here to share with you some information about what you can expect from them from the senior year. So, I just want to see, how many of you are first-time senior parents? Woo! Holy rollies. How many of you are scared to death? Yeah. Okay. So the good news with this is that you have the great fortune of having one of the absolute best counseling departments ever. They are an amazing group of people, and they will do everything they can to help you support your student through this process. I think one of the hardest things as a parent, because I've been through this twice myself, Ms. Lockridge has been through it, Mr. Mayo has been through it, is sitting back as a parent and letting them do it. Letting them do it. But Mom, I don't have to have that done yet. The deadline is, a week away. And you're like, yeah, but you can't wait till the last second. And you know they're waiting till the last second. So we are here to help you. We're here to help you through that process. You have people that know this process inside and out, I promise you. It is different than if you went to college back when I did, when you were typing on the kitchen table with the typewriter and the whiteout. How many of you did that? Come on. Yes, thank you. Okay. Now everything is online. It is online, and it's a little scary, but it's also kind of awesome too. So there's a lot of good things about it going online. The things that are negative are that it's really easy to click that button without having people check it. So just make sure you're staying on top of that. Communicate with your counselor, and it will be good. But again, please remember, this is your child's application. They have things that they have to do with it, and we do help them along with the process. Stress comes with this process. It's stressful from now until the end. It's stressful now because it's hurry up and get your applications in on time. There's lots of deadlines. It's stressful later because once they've been accepted, they think they don't have to do anything anymore. We have to still graduate from high school, so that is something important. We can help you with that too. So if you're having that kid that is really just pushing back, we can help you with all of that. One of the things that you'll hear Ms. Lockridge talk about is that deadlines are key. They are super important, and they are hard deadlines. This is probably the first time in their lives that they are coming up against a hard deadline. They don't always know what that means. So the great news is that the tools that we use, go through SCORE, School Links, College Kickstart, all of those things have when the deadlines are, for whether it's early decision, early action, regular decision, all of those things. They clearly state when the deadlines are. So you have that information, okay? But it's important to help them stay focused and keep with those deadlines. So I'm going to invite Allison out. She is our college and career counselor. She is amazing. She is here to support your students through this process as well. And again, if you need help, please ask. We are more than happy to help, okay?
Thank you, Michelle. Welcome, everybody. It's nice to be on the stage in person here. We do a lot of these programs virtual, so it's nice to be here in person. So as Michelle mentioned, we do have deadlines quickly approaching. Believe it or not, most early deadlines are between October 15th 15th and November 1st, which is really like a month and a half away. So we have been communicating to seniors about, this 4 to 6 week time frame. It's a pretty quick turnaround from when they come back to school, and there's a lot that needs to get done. So we are here to help them through the process. Hopefully, most seniors have scheduled a meeting with their counselor. If they haven't, that would be the first question I would ask them tonight, maybe tomorrow, is do you have a meeting on books? Your counselor will go over your college list, how are you going to apply, early action, early decision, regular decision, all of that can be very overwhelming about how to apply and when the deadlines are. So in that initial senior meeting with your counselor, that's what the counselor is really working on with the student. Some students need more support in this process than others. So some students need to go to a counselor every other week. Some students access all of my support in the College and Career Center through a lot of the workshops that I offer. And then other students are really independent and manage this really smoothly. So we try to meet everybody where they are. So the components of the application, I'm not going to go into detail. First of all of this information, and then actually a lot more, was covered in counselor advisory. We did get some feedback a few years ago from parents that they felt a little out of the loop in the fall of senior year. We talked a lot about this in the junior college kickoff, but that was a long time ago, and so now it's like a reality and you're in it. So by no means do we want you to do all of this that we're going to talk about tonight. Really it's a student's responsibility, but it's helpful as a parent to be aware of what's coming. So the student's obviously responsible for their Common Application. These are all the components. I'm currently running Common App workshops in the College and Career Center. I've been sending out sign-ups for that. We have one tomorrow early, bright and early at 7:45. Welcome to advertise that at home. I do ask people to sign up, but to be honest, the morning ones are usually not full, so more the merrier. And there's also one Friday and then another set of workshops next week. So if most students are in the process of working on their Common Application, working on their essays, it can be helpful to get some tips on really the activities list, the supplemental essays. So really encourage your son or daughter to attend one of those workshops over the next couple weeks. So Michelle mentioned SCORE. So SCORE is really how we send the transcript and letters of recommendations. So students send their own Common Application. They, review everything, go over things with their counselor. When they're ready to submit, they submit. We send the transcripts and the letters of recommendations through SCORE. So there's a couple steps that students need to do to make that happen. And again, we covered all this in advisory, but this could be a nice, gentle reminder at home is, have you set everything up in SCORE? Just because of those deadlines. Students are relying on their counselor and teachers to get everything out in time. So you don't want to be asking teachers to upload their letters the last week before the deadline. You don't want to be letting your counselor know 2 weeks before the deadline that you have a transcript due. The more notice they have, the better. So just a couple super simple steps. We ask students to waive their rights, saying that they're not going to look at their letter of recommendation. No counselor or teacher would ever write a poor letter of recommendation, but for colleges to really look at them, they do recommend that you waive your rights. So that little orange box over there, they just click review and sign and waive their rights. And then this is the important page that we talked a lot about in advisory. So in order for anything to go from the high school, the college needs to be in that applying list. So in that junior conference last year, your counselor made some suggestions, put in the suggested column. Students did research. They liked schools, they didn't like schools. They might have put things in their following or dismissed them. But now is the time to tell us where you're applying. Now, we completely recognize that not everybody knows their whole list of schools, and that's totally normal. But I always recommend most students know a couple schools that they're applying to. The majority of students are submitting their applications through that early round. Most students are also submitting regular decision applications, but even like UConn has a December 1st deadline. The Connecticut State Schools recommend by December 1st. Most state schools have early action deadlines. majority of students are submitting a handful of applications by November 1st. So most students know at least one school that they're going to apply to. And I would recommend getting that in the applying list now. So what happens is, let's say I know I'm going to apply to UConn. I know it's December 1st. I'm going to just drag it over there or add it in there. I'm going to say I'm applying by this deadline, or by the early action deadline, it'll come up right away. And then as soon as you put it in that column, your counselor and teachers, which we'll talk about in a minute, are going to get an email saying, you have John Smith has a November 1st deadline or December 1st deadline. And that's how we know to upload it in time. So that column is really important. So we do ask by the end of September for students to have all of their early schools in that applying list. Doesn't mean changes can't be made. So sometimes people change their mind, and that's okay. But it's best as possible by end of September having all the early schools in that applying list to give counselors and teachers enough time to get everything uploaded. So, and then actually the last column is after a student's sent their application, they just move it over into the applying column. So I mentioned teachers are also submitting their letters on SCORE. So most students did this in advisory in the spring of last year. But we're going to share these slides with you, so just so you know, again, just maybe a gentle question. Did you happen to invite your teachers on SCORE? Most students have. We went over it again in advisory this year, but there might be some students that may have missed it. But they have to invite their teachers on SCORE in order for teachers to be able to upload their letters. So again, we want to do this on the early side to give teachers enough notice. And students should definitely ask their teachers in person before they're just adding them on here, obviously. Some students apply early decision. Early decision is not for everybody. It is binding. So if there's a first choice college, there's pluses and minuses of early decision, which we've talked a lot about in previous presentations. But for students that are applying early decision, there is a contract that has to be signed in SCORE. So once a student enters the college and puts it into the applying list and says early decision, they're going to ask for a parent's email address. You're going to get an email to sign it. Once you sign it, then the counselor gets an email to sign it. So it's a contract signed by the student, the parent, and the counselor acknowledging that they're only applying to one school early decision, and if they are admitted that they'll be attending. So just keep in mind this is also in SCORE. There's also an early decision agreement that's in the Common App, but it also has to be done in SCORE as well. So standardized testing, again, I've talked a lot about this in various presentations. We still often get the question, should I apply test optional? Very important to check the median range on the college website, not like a general website. But if you're applying to UConn, go to UConn's website, just search median SAT or ACT score. Every college will have the student profile from last year. So they're going to give you a range. Maybe it was 1260 to 1440 for the SAT. If your score is in between there, you want to send your scores. If it's below it, you want to apply test optional, if the school is test optional. And same thing for the ACT. So we've been really stressing that with students. Again, this year is just to make sure that they're within the range if they're going to send test scores. In terms of how you send test scores, this is something I find that parents can be helpful with, is many schools require official scores, if you're sending scores, to be sent directly from College Board or ACT. And basically it's logging into College Board or ACT, choosing what schools, clicking what scores, you can pick the highest scores for most schools, and putting your credit card in. You'll be using your credit card a lot, by the way, and then sending your scores. But again, you want this sent sooner than later. It takes a couple weeks. I don't know why it's online, but it does. So again, it's kind of another layer to the process. Just keep in mind, scores typically need to be sent officially. Okay, so then we get through the stress of the next couple months and applications are submitted. Very often students are like, I'm done, great, I survived the last couple months. Very important, it's not quite done yet. Every time you submit an application, you're you're going to get an email, sometimes right away, sometimes a week, sometimes 2 weeks, with a login to the college portal. So I submitted my application to UConn. UConn sends me an email saying, thanks for your application, here's a login to the UConn portal. So then I need to log into the UConn portal and check to make sure everything is received. Now keep in mind, students, and we say this a lot to seniors, that teachers and counselors have until the deadline, and honestly we have a grace period after, but we do always get in by the deadline. But if it's October 30th and you don't see your teacher rec submitted yet, don't get nervous. We get them in by the deadline. We have a lot of reminders that come electronically. But you still want to make sure everything's received. Sometimes you might log into a portal and it might ask you for additional information. Maybe they want a screenshot of your test scores. Maybe you need to complete another form. Maybe there's an extra question that you have to complete. So you apply to 15 schools, you've got 15 portals. So it's definitely a little bit to manage, but just keep in mind that, and that's where you find your decision out as well, is the portal. Quarter grades are not sent automatically, but assuming they're good, it's great to send them, and you can request those through your counselor. So just a couple last things. Very important to really express your interest in colleges through this process. We have college rep visits in the College and Career Center that just started today, actually. We had 2 schools come today. So the person that's coming from the college is the person that's actually going to be reading the student's application. So it's a very important way to show interest. If a student has a class, they can ask their teacher in advance to miss the class. If the student can't miss a class, they can always stop by at the beginning or the end, fill a little card they were there, scan the QR code. But those are very important to attend. So they started today and they'll go through the end of October. It's usually roughly 5-6 reps that come throughout the day, and they're just giving like a little info session. So some students ask questions, some students sit quietly, and that's okay too. But that's another really important question to ask students is, are you paying attention to the rep visit calendar? I'm going to show you in a minute. We're having an interview workshop in early November, but just pay attention. Some schools you have to schedule interviews on your own, so it's just good to double check all the websites. College Night is coming up, another great way to show interest, and and also through supplemental essays, virtual webinars. Those are all excellent ways to show interest. The college rep visits are all on SCORE. You can't actually see them with a parent login for some reason, so you need to log in from the student side. But I also send out the weekly College and Career newsletter called the College and Career Update, and I put the visits for the next 2 weeks on that update. But you might have a visit scheduled like tonight for Thursday. So the most up-to-date schedule is on SCORE. If colleges are in the following list on the student's SCORE account, they're going to get an automatic email saying that school is scheduled a visit on October 2nd at 9:40. So, but just know that they are found in here. It's not required to register in advance for them, but we do request it. I think that's about all I have now. I know that was a lot of information in a short time frame. We're going to send out a recording of tonight. We're going to send out a copy of these slides, and then the senior agenda that is very long with a lot of links in it, that we covered everything in advisory. We're going to resend that as well, so we're telling students to keep rereading it, keep double checking it, so you'll have access to all of that as well. We wish you the best of luck through the process. We all get through it. I survived it myself last year. It's a fine line between micromanaging it and being a cheerleader, so but you will all get through it, I promise. And turn it over to... Thank you.
Sorry. It wouldn't be me if I didn't do something silly. So I would like to thank Ms. Lockridge for all of her. She is a wealth of knowledge and has been an incredible support to our students over the years. So please make sure if you have questions to reach out to her. She's incredible. The next group of people I wanted to introduce was Lisa Sylvester and Monica Wang. They are the co-PTA presidents, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with the PTA for your seniors this year.
Hi. Welcome seniors. If you're like me, does anybody have a baby like me? Or your seniors graduating, your lowest baby? We're not crying now, we're crying in June. So anyway, PTA, I'm Lisa Sylvester, Monica Wang. This is also Maureen Harper. She's going to talk to you about our graduation party in a minute. The PTA, our main goal is to raise money to help the administration, the teachers, the faculty, and the students. To date, we have already spent, I think, $35,000 or $40,000. Monica and I joked over the summer because things just kept coming up, and we'd come in and Mr. Mayor would hand us something. Can you pay for this? Sure. So things are adding up, but that's a really good thing. Last year we spent up to about $200,000 in curriculum enrichment, outreach, school improvements, the graduation party, and a whole bunch of other things. So we cannot do all of those things without donations. Do we want you to help volunteer? Absolutely. Give us an hour, give us a week, give us 2 years. We're actually a lot of fun. Our committees are fun, but our main goal is money. So if you have not donated, please do donate generously. And again, the most important thing is that all the money we raise goes back to the school in full for everything that the teachers need, that Ralph needs, that the administration needs. And the biggest fun for the senior class, which is why we're here and Maureen is here, is to talk about our graduation party, which is after graduation at 10 p.m. It goes until 2 a.m. The gymnasium is filled to the brim with all sorts of things, a DJ, we have raffle prizes, we give away MacBooks, a whole bunch of other things, so really encourage your kids to come. It's a lot of fun. It's the last time they can really get together and let their hair down. And we are looking for junior parents, so if those of you that want to help in any way, you cannot help that night because your kids are seniors, but we're going to be looking, if you know junior parents that want to get involved, that's a really fun night. We all did it last year. There's some ladies here that also helped. It's a lot of fun. It's long because we're not 16 anymore, but it's a lot of fun. But I'm going to turn this over to Maureen, and she's going to give you some more information about what we really need and what we're looking for.
So the senior party is 100% funded by the parents. So we have to raise money and collect donations from all of you. So I hope that you guys are generous. Part of our fundraiser is the lawn signs that will go on sale probably right after Christmas, so watch out for those. So that helps offset the cost of the party. On top of that, we also try to collect raffle prizes, and as Lisa said, the raffle prizes are amazing. So they are given off almost every hour, and the kids stay for those because they are MacBooks and iPads and AirPods. And we really would like to have 100% participations from the seniors this year. It's the last time that they are all going to be together to celebrate as a class. I know some kids, they have their own class, but please encourage them to attend that night because it's really a fun time for all of them. And no senior parents are allowed, so they're not going to embarrass, we're not going to embarrass them. So please encourage them to come. Donation asks or emails will start coming out in November, so you guys please watch out for those. Those are coming from the PTA. And lastly, if you ordered a college book online, I'm out there giving them out. If you want to buy them, you can still buy them. They're $25 per book, and we accept cash, check, Apple Pay, or credit card. And the money goes back to the counselors, so it all goes back whatever we raise for the college book. So please, if you want to buy one, thank you.
And one last quick thing, if you've already donated and have not picked up your incentives, come outside to the left and you can pick them up there. If you have not donated, or actually if you did donate, you can pick up your incentives. If you have not, there's also a table there right next to the college book table. And here's Michelle.
Did you notice I didn't take the microphone over there this time? So thank you. Now I'd like to introduce our Dean of Students, Mr. Tom Pereira, who's going to share some more fun facts for seniors this year.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope we're doing well. Congratulations on making it senior year. So I think that's important. Give yourself a hand. There you go. Not out of the woods yet, obviously, by the college process, but I'm sure you're going to be well taken care of with the supportive staff that we have at the high school. So a couple quick things I want to point out to you coming from my office, the Office of Student Life. So email and website, check those early and often. There's a significant amount of information that comes through there, so please check that out. If you do not receive emails from myself or Ms. Karen Foster, our Director of Student Activities, please make sure that you have updated your emails. We found out that some individual parents have not updated their emails since their child's kindergarten year, so that's going to be a problem. So if you need to update that, please either contact your school counselor or the house. So please make sure that you update those. The senior portraits, today was the last day for senior portraits. And retakes are going to be in October. Those are to be determined. If your student still wants to take a senior portrait, they're going to have to call the studio to do that. They will not take first senior portraits at the retakes. Parking. Emails about parking have gone out. We have just ran the lottery for parking. It is not the perfect system, but the system that we have in place, because unfortunately we have a supply and demand issue with parking for that. So please make sure that they pick up their parking. We are hoping to have the seniors park starting on Monday. Every senior is guaranteed 1 semester of parking, which I can guarantee 2 for everybody, but unfortunately because of the amount of seniors that we have and the amount of need, that is why we have the parking lottery. And yeah, that is pretty much about it. So please make sure you, again, check your emails. If you are not getting emails from Karen Foster, please make sure that you update that with the house. And I am now pleased to introduce our 2 fantastic school resource officers, Officer Wallace and Officer Reich.
All right, hi everyone. Believe it or not, we are not here to actually talk about the college application process. Instead, we are here to talk about just our role as an SRO in the building. For those that don't know, my name is Officer Reich. I've been here for it's my 6th school year.
And I'm Officer Wallace. Some of you know me as Wally, so Officer Wally is fine too. So this is actually my 4th school year here at JHS. So when your students were freshmen, I was a freshman as an SRO. So I've kind of grown into the role with your seniors now. So time really does fly. I'm sure you feel the same way, like seeing your kids and dropping them off here for freshman year and now they're seniors. I feel the same way because a lot of your kids I've known throughout their high school time here. So just real quickly, our role here, we really just have 3 main functions. Overall, our job is not to arrest every kid or get kids in trouble. It's exactly the opposite. We're here as a resource for you and primarily your children. So 3 main functions we have here. The first being, and most importantly, safety for the children here, your kids that go here, and the staff in this building. Him and I are here at this building from 8 in the morning till at least 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm a coach here. Fred was also a coach. And so I'm actually here till, in the season, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're here all day making sure your kids are safe here at school. The second thing we are is we act as informal educators. When your kids were in 10th grade, we went into all of their health classes and taught them different things that might apply to them as 16 and 17-year-olds. And we continue to do that as guest speakers in many different classes that are held here at JHS. And the last, which I think him and I both as coaches here really dive into, we're informal mentors. And that's something we both really enjoy. We know your kids go through a lot, and they seek out any resources that we can, that they need, and that's what we're here for, to be a resource for them if they have any questions or going through something. We have offices here at JHS and Student Activities. If they ever need us for anything or going through something, we have an open door policy, anything we need, we're here to help them with. We also initiate a therapy dog program. Some of you may or may not know about that. We tried to get our own therapy dog, it didn't really work out, so luckily we have a group of about 10 to 15 volunteers that come out throughout different times of the year with their dogs. We walk around the school. I wish we had therapy dogs for all the parents here, because after hearing that presentation about college, I was like, oh my God. But unfortunately, we don't have it tonight, but especially for your seniors and everything that they're going through, we have them there for you, and your kids. So that's just a few of the things we do here. Again, if you ever need anything, we're also a resource, not just to your students, but to you as well. So please reach out if you need anything. And with that, I'm going to hand it back to Mr. Mayo with some closing remarks.
and gentlemen, I sent 4 children to college, and one thing I can tell you for certain, they all come back. And some of them come back and stay and live with you for many years. So my advice to you is don't make your homes too comfortable, because they're coming back. I have one of my children stayed 11 years, but she changed her career, went to nursing school, and saved enough money to buy a home. So that was worth it. So, yeah. When I was talking to the seniors during the first day of school, seniors come here the first day of school and they have an assembly with me. We talked about all the different building projects that took place over the summer. Hopefully you'll get a chance to see the new entryway. It's beautiful, and it was really well done, and the kids really appreciated that. But there's other things you can't see that we did, and other things that we're still working on. Like, for example, if you have any baseball parents in the audience, yes, we are still working on that field, and that field will be ready for the springtime. Boilers, we finished almost done with our boiler work, way ahead of heating season, so that you can't see that, but the kids will be nice and warm, and so will the staff when winter comes upon us, if we ever get a winter again. Those are kind of things that we did. We did stuff we did a lot of things in the gymnasium, a lot of things in the pool that you'll never see, but we had dividers that had been up there since 1970, so we needed new dividers that went up that were powered by electricity instead of by hand. So those are all in, so we can separate gym classes, stuff like that. So that kind of stuff. But it was a busy summer. We had 120 new families move into the town and enter Greenwich High School. That's a lot. And it seemed like most of them came in the middle of August. So we're still working with them to make sure they have all the correct paperwork and everything like that, but most of them, I would say 99% of them have a schedule now and they're in classes. It was, we were working 12-hour days and we were working on Saturdays to get our students registered. So that was a big task because so many people came so late, which is unusual. Usually people get their registrations done in May, but whatever. So they're in. We have also changed some of our regulations. You probably read about the cell phone regulation that I know was very popular. Subject to a petition and everything like that. So what I did was, I spoke with the superintendent, we talked a great deal about that. And we put together a committee, and we have a committee of parents, students, teachers, administrators. We're going to look at the regulation and help it make sense for Greenwich High School. But just remember this, your children are allowed to carry their phones at all times. No one's going to take their phone, okay? So it's not like elementary school or middle school where they're taking their phones, putting them in their backpacks, putting them in their locker. Your kids have their phones on them in case, God forbid, there's any kind of emergency. All right? So, but again, we'll get you more information on where we're going with that regulation as we work through it as a committee. We also worked really hard this year to solve the traffic issues that always arise on Hillside Road. We think we have it. We think we did it. If only people would arrive on time to make it happen, we would have. I was out there like the second or third day of school. There was no traffic on Hillside Road at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's unheard of. So all of the things that we put in place, all the little things that we put in place, we have an officer down at the corner of Hillside and Post Road. He's running the light. So he's clearing out Hillside. Not doing much for the traffic on the Post Road, but it's clearing out Hillside. We have a right turn only coming out of driveway 4, and we're having the seniors who will be parking soon, they'll be in lot 5, and they'll go out driveway 5 as well. They're in the north lot, they'll go out driveway 5. So we'll see how we do once the seniors start parking, but I think we actually fixed something that were having trouble fixing for many years. And since, I've been here for probably the longest, actually people say I came to the building, which is not exactly a lie, because I graduated from this high school in 1971, and that was the first graduating class from this particular high school. So, yes, we've got that done, we got the traffic done, so you might have read about that kind of stuff in the Greenwich Time, and as well as the cell phone regulation, but we're on top of it, and we're working hard to make it work for everybody here. You'll see in another month or so what our scores look like, and they were outstanding. I'll give you one score. We had a little data. Let me start to throw a little data. We had 1,000 students take AP tests this past spring. 1,000. They took approximately 3,000 tests. It's not our average score, but 94.3% of those students, of those 1,000 students, got a 3 or better on the test. Yeah. So when you hear people saying things are declining, don't believe them. 8 state championships last year, ladies and gentlemen. 8. So Greenwich High School is still a school that, if you went here, the school you still remember, Greenwich High School is still achieving and excelling as it should. It's one of the finest high schools in the country. So I'm going to close on that, because I love to close on that. And I'm going to bring Michelle back out in case you have any questions about that lovely application process. And thank you. Thank you again for coming out.
You want to make sure I don't fall off the edge of the stage. So I think really a lot of the questions that are going to come will be generated from your students, and I'll encourage you to make appointments with your school counselor. I know that those things are coming up over the next couple weeks, but if any of you have any general questions about what we talked about, I'm happy to answer them for you. Yes. So when a student comes, so the question was, how does the college know, what the interest is? So the representatives that come to Greenwich High School are the ones that are reading the applications from our kids. So when a student comes to a visit to learn more about the college, that representative will get that information from your student. So they will know the students who attended those information meetings that way. So every admissions person is going to have a different way of doing it. Sometimes they have little postcards. Sometimes they have something that they scan. There's different things that they do. They're not all the same. There's like thousands and thousands of colleges, and we probably right now have close to 115 that are coming, and I probably get 3 or 4 notices every day of schools that are going to be coming in through the fall. So we'll have a ton. I think the question was, if your child has already been on a visitation to a college and the representative is coming again, should you go? I always think it's nice, especially in a smaller setting within a student's school, to take the time to do that. That definitely shows you are interested in that school. So yes. I would say that when you go to the visits, encourage your students to have a question and something outside of what you can read online. Okay, so have them think about themselves on that school and what kind of questions do they have. The question is, do teachers write recommendations to specific schools, or are they general? I think most of the time they're general. However, there are some colleges that really prefer to have them specific toward a particular college, and your counselor can help work through that process and work with the teacher. So the question is, how do you know when your child should interview, especially if they're uncomfortable in that situation? I think that it's important to sit down with your school counselor, because I do think it's important for them to interview if it's optional. It shows interest, and it's also showing that you care and that you want to go. They also realize they're dealing with kids, so they're not going to be perfect. They don't expect them to be perfect. But Ms. Blackridge mentioned that she does some interview prep. I would encourage you to take advantage of that. Anything else, or are you guys ready to go home? All right. It was really nice seeing all of you. Thank you so much for coming out. And we'll see you soon.